a drifting ship. I took a look inside. I found a note that someone wrote that said, take her for a ride. I set a course for sights unseen, went out to open sea. To my surprise, a bunch of sailors joined along with me. Now we're sailing on the mystery ship. All you gotta do is join our trip. There isn't any cost of membership. All the sailors here are really hip. I'm the captain of the mystery ship, and I'm a-calling all aboard our trip. I'm really hoping that you'll enjoy it up on the mystery ship. So bring a friend and come along with us aboard the mystery ship. There's our girl, which means I am behind. I am behind. And there we go. Oh, boy. What a freaking day. I just ran in the door, people. Literally. I'm not kidding you. Where does one begin? How are you doing out there? That's how one begins this show. Saying hellos to his people. I tell you. I've needed this cup of grog today. I really need this cup of grog today. We're gonna fix this right now. Yepers. That's the kind of day it's been for your brother Zoe. There we go. Bon appetit. Good evening, my friends. It is wonderful to see you this Wednesday evening. It's your brother Zoe coming to you with another exciting journey on the mystery ship. It'll be far different than the last one. I'm pleased as punch to be here. I will say this. It's getting a little trying working like 50 minutes out of town, especially if I have to do anything before I get home and go on the air, like maybe eat dinner, or as I had to tonight, stop off at an electrical warehouse and also fill up with gas and then rush home. We'll get into that. But first, the important thing, let's make sure we're live everywhere we're supposed to be live. Look at this. What's my camera? It's picking up the backside of the freaking television. Let's get rid of that. Okay, there's a little headroom. Max headroom. Max headroom, baby. In television, the space above the commentator's head in the top of the frame is called headroom, and I had way too much of it. Okay. All right. We are live at Pilled, and there is a generous supply of wonderful people showing up over there. I can't wait to go and say hello to them. Over at Rumble, we are live. We are live, Clive, and we got 4 Rumblers over there. Whoever you are, my salute to you. I guess I should do it this way. And I've always wondered, for those of you who have been in the service, do you salute like this or do you salute like this? Because I've seen it both ways. Or does one branch of the service go like this and another one go like this? I don't know. In the Cub Scouts, it was 3 fingers. 3 fingers, and then you did this. Anyway, okay. So, get your act together. Let's get over to YouTube and see how those wonderful people are doing. There they are, the tubers. The tubers are tubing. Q Magoo, Rain Cry, good to see you. And, of course, over in Twitch, we are twitching that itch tonight, and I see my buddy, Matty F&B. He's laying in bed with bronchitis, and the doc signed lied into his ass from work. You finally make it to the big leagues, and I hope you're feeling better, Matty. We're going to write that down. We're going to write that down to keep our brother Matt in the freaking on the prayer chain. Our brother Matt on the prayer chain. My trusty carpenter's pencil. Matt. F&B. He told me what F&B stood for once, but I don't quite remember. All right, working our way over to D Live. What is going on here? Okay. We've got all manner of sailor and sailorette in here. Bad Zoot is in the house. TL Spud, how are you doing, brother? Lynn Winters is with us. Wonderful to see you guys. I hope you're doing marvelously. May Sammers, what's going on? How are you doing? Matt Pogue dropping in to say hello. Peggy Dancer in the house. Wonderful folks. Wonderful, wonderful folks hanging out at D Live. Let's get back over to Pilled. Yes, here they are. No shortage of sailors abound. Sailors abide. The dude abides. Do you guys know that, what's his name? Bridges. Beau Bridges? Was he? No, not Beau Bridges. The other Bridges. Not Lloyd Bridges. That's the father. What's the other Bridges? Whatever the hell his name is. Anyway, the two Bridges brothers. Jeff, thank you. Thank you, Spud. I can always count on you for a split-second answer. You should be a contestant on... Oh, no, never mind. The Bridges are both actually very talented musicians. Amazingly talented. Funny. I loved the father on Sea Hunt. I really did. But I know I'm off on a tangent. I haven't stopped to say hello yet, and I'm coming back to... Don't worry. I'm coming back to say hello. But the Bridges, Jeff Bridges, has a band called The Abiders. The Abiders. So when he's not acting, he has a little touring band called The Abiders. All right. I see Dixie Doodle. I see Sloan TV. Dixie, if you haven't seen this movie, I want you to look it up, and I want you to find it. It's probably 20 years old. It's called The Fabulous Baker Boys. And both of the Bridges, both of them are piano players, and they've had a little lounge act, and they go and they decide they just need to do something different. They need to spice it up a little bit. So they decide, let's get a hot singer. So they enlist one Michelle Pfeiffer, and she fills the bill, I promise you. That was one of my, Michelle was definitely one of my celebrity crushes back in the day. Back when I used to be able to be crushed by a celeb. Yes. Dixie Doodle, good to see you. Sloan TV in the house. Timbo, how are you doing, my man? Good to see you. Girl Patriot, how are you, darling? Always a pleasure to look up and see your smiling face. Secret Weapon, all the way from Texas. Safety Net in the house. Two-timing us. She's two-timing us. Brewbark is with us. How you doing? Hope everything's groovy. What is that? Is that a chicken in your picture? What is that, Brewbark? It looks like it's this big. Wait. I can blow it up. What is that? What the hell is that, Brewbark? Is that a chicken I'm looking at? What is in that little tiny picture of yours? I love stuff like that. It drives me crazy. Trick Pony in the house. How you doing, little lady? Wonderful to see you. Really, really good to see you. I saw my brother Crazy Chuck with a K hanging out. Good to see Maddie's mom. What is going on, darling? Hope you're doing wonderfully. My brother Double D. Due diligence. How is the world? Hope it's spinning your direction, Gramps. I really do. All right, I think I've gotten just about everybody. I don't think I missed anyone. Thank you, Girl Patriot and Safety Net, for your support of this program. You are wonderful. And due diligence, of course, have a grog on me. And I did. I did have a grog on you. I'm having several grogs tonight. Let's get one last peek over at Rumble, see where we're at. Okay, numbers are steadily improving. And one more look at YouTube, because now they're pouring in. Andrew Schroeder, good to see you. Arden, what's going on, little lady? I gave Arden a ride on my bike. Yes, it's awesome. Good to see you. Rain Cry in the house. Wonderful friends all across this country. All right, we have said our hellos. I have verified that I'm live in all the places where I'm supposed to be live. Now I can pontificate a little bit about my day. I don't know what your day was like, but remember just the other night. What did I do with those things? Just the other night, I showed you guys that my water heater had taken a crap on me, right? And I so proudly strutted my stuff, showing you the bent, twisted, freaked out elements from the inside of my crusty water heater. And, I was doing that puffy rooster thing, we bad. Well, the water heater went out again. Yes. And let me tell you, at 4:45 in the morning, when Mrs. Zoe comes to me and says, there's no hot water. This is not a good thing. So she's very, very cool about it. Don't get me wrong. She's very, very cool, calm, and collected about it. There's no doubt. However, it is irritating when you're really looking forward to that wake-up shower and you don't get it, Something about that eye-opener in the morning, man, it's a fine place to be, especially if you've been drinking. And neither of us drink anymore, but, boy, back in the day, I've had many a ice-cold eye-opener just so I could get out of the hotel bed and go to work again because I closed down a bar the night before. To be young and dumb and whatever. Back to our story. The water heater did it again. So this time I'm like, okay, well, I got out my electrical tester and I tried the little reset button on the thermostats. No good. So I'm like, well, damn it. We need an upper and a lower thermostat. So in the side of your water heater, if you took the little cover off, besides the element that goes into the water and has a rubber gasket and the wires go to it, those wires go to a thermostat, and that's how you decide what temperature you want it to be. And it has a place for screws and wires. Well, ours were, I don't know how many years old. So I went and got 2 new thermostats, upper and lower, and I wired them in, and I went to bed with a great big smile on my face, thinking, problem solved, we're done here. Zoe just saved the day. Instead of buying an $800 water heater, we invested $50 in new elements and about $32 in new thermostats. We are freaking golden, baby. I shut the door, and next morning, I get up. First thing I do, go back to the back washroom sink next to the washer and dryer, and I fire up that thing, and I stick my hand under there, and it is toasty warm water. And I'm like, oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah. We bad. Little did I know. Mrs. Zoe goes ahead and jumps in the shower. She's not in there 45 seconds and comes flying out saying, there's no hot water. I'm like, what? So I go out to the freaking water heater again at 5 o'clock in the freaking morning, and I'm testing, and I open up the breaker, and it's a two-pole breaker, right? There's 220 up here and 220 right here. One of the four legs is tripped. So I reset it, and I said, well, ladies, I'm sorry. Something tripped the breaker, and it's going to be probably 2 hours before we have hot water. And they were not thrilled. They were just not thrilled. Let's get to this morning. This morning, or last night. Last night I come home. I check the box. Son of a bitch, that thing is tripped again. So I reset it. Again. I get up this morning, check the hot water, burning hot. I get in at 4:45. I take my shower, come out of the shower. Honey, it's all yours. Go ahead. So I'm getting dressed, and out of the other side of the house, I hear, there's no hot water. Mrs. Zoe went in and got completely lathered up. Now, she's got a mop of blonde hair that almost goes to her butt, and it's this wide. So let's just say you get that thing all lathered up. You want to wash the soap out. But when the only thing you have to wash the soap out with is ice cold water, you're going to let somebody have it. She did it. She washed her hair, all the soap out, with freezing ice cold water. It was 34 degrees here this morning. And I said, okay, that does it. That does it. It's the breaker. It's the breaker in the electrical panel. So today, just now, just this second when I got home at 5:30. My show goes live at 6. I quickly changed the breaker in like 11 minutes. I ran inside, grabbed some leftovers out of the fridge, threw them in the microwave, had some delicious stir fry. It was actually really good for being a couple days old. Loved every minute of it. I had just enough time to run out here to you guys, and say, hey, let's do a show. So here we are, back at St. Alfonso's Pancake Breakfast. I've been singing the water heater blues. At this point, I don't think there's anything else that needs to be fixed. The thing about a water heater, and remember this, all you people who aren't construction workers. A water heater is just a can. Where's my can? That's all it is. A water heater is simply a can that holds water. As long as this can doesn't have any holes in it, there's nothing that can't be fixed, okay? This is your water heater. There's two little fingers that go inside of this on a rubber gasket that warm up the water in there. They warm up the water inside there. And then those, in turn, are governed by thermostats that you set the desired amount of water. How hot, how cold do you want it to be? I want this at a constant 125. That is fed from a breaker in your panel, and that's literally all that can go wrong with your water heater. It's either the elements or the thermostats or the breaker. At this point, I have replaced all three, and I'll be damned. I paid the piper. I'm getting my money's worth. I am getting my money's worth out of that freaking water heater if it's the last thing I do. It's about 5 years old right now, and I'm telling you, I'm going to get 10 years out of that thing. I'm going to get my money's worth. I'm going to get my money's worth. It's not very often you get your money's worth out of something anymore, but Don't, if you have to, if you absolutely must replace your water heater, don't buy a cheap one. Do not buy the bottom of the barrel. Buy the best one they have, and man, if you're lucky, you'll get 7, maybe 10 years out of it. We're going for 7 right now. 6. We're at 6, and even though it's got all kinds of evidence of hard water in there from our well, damn it, it's still alive and kicking. And I'm looking forward to that hot shower in the morning. All right, we're going to see some people say hello. Some wonderful people are going to say hello to us, and then we'll be back on the other side of this. This is your chance, people. Your chance to go get a grog, or take the dog outside, or do that voodoo that you do. Run to the bathroom. Whatever it is you must do, you've got a short break to do it, and I'll see you on the other side of this video right here. This video right here.
This is Daily Insanity, and you are listening to The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude 77.
Hi, I am Deborah R., and you are watching The Mystery Ship with Zozo Dude 77.
This is Drooby Doo, and you're on The Mystery Ship with Zozo Dude.
This is Captain Grams, and you are on The Mystery Ship with your captain, Zoso Dude 77.
Hello, this is Prayer Warrior Girl, and you're on The Mystery Ship with Zozo Dude 77.
Hi, this is Awakened Mom, and you are on board with The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude.
This is Matty F&B, and you're watching Zoso Dude on The Mystery Ship.
This is Rick Coleman. Welcome aboard The Mystery Ship.
I am Bitch Slap Satan, and you are watching Mystery Ship. This is Jayla 17, and you're aboard the Mystery Ship with Zozo Dude 77.
You are live with Zoso and the Mystery Ship via Sloan TV.
This is John Otter,
And this is Q Magoo.
and we're watching the Zoso 77 Mystery Show. Oh, Mystery Ship!
You're watching Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude 77.
Greetings, sailors. This is Prairie Fire, and you are rocking on The Mystery Ship with our captain, Zoso Dude 77.
This is Rhett 66
And this is 94 Winchester. You're on the Zozo Show.
on the Mystery Ship.
Alright, this is Sleeping Stars 91, also known as the Hot Dong Lady, and you are watching The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude 77.
This is Special K, and you're with us on the Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude 77. And he goes.
Hey sailors, it's TL Spud from beautiful Clark County, Washington, and you're watching The Mystery Ship with Zoso Dude.
Of course, this is the Batman, your favorite mustache superhero. And I'm here to tell you that we are on The Mystery Ship with our good captain, Zoso Dude. God bless everybody. Peace out from Batman.
You know, I got to say this. I never quite noticed it before, but it sure stuck out at me just now. It really, really hit me in the face. Where are we? Main camera. Here we go. Main camera. Now that I've been doing this Foxhole Squares for however many weeks, 9 weeks, this upcoming show is going to be our 10th week. It's going to be our 10th week. Is that what I'm looking for? No. Damn it. Where is that? Hang on just a second. There's something really, really important that I need. Oh, man. Downloads. What happened? Seriously. All right, let's try that again. Save to gallery. Oh, that's what happened. It never made it all the way because I closed it. Hang on. Going back to gallery. Download. Nope. We're trying it again. We're doing it live. Okay, one more time with feeling. Save to gallery. Video, saving to gallery. There's something really important that I want to show you. But in relation to that last video that I just played, that was last year going across the country. Those are all of the people. Well, not all of them, but that's some of the people that I met last year going cross country on my trip. And I'm pleased to say that figuratively, not literally, figuratively, I slept over with over half those people. Over half the people you just saw put me up as I went across country. But that's not what I wanted to point out. I wanted to point out, you notice how each and every person has their little, they say hello, and every one of them, totally genuine. But now that I've kind of been like the host of the Foxhole Squares for a while, one thing I have noticed is that when I'm hosting this show, I really have to kind of up my game. I can't just sit here like I'm talking to you and just be myself. I'm a game show host. I have to sell that show. I have to be spunky and alive and funny and witty and quick and try not to repeat myself. And definitely I make a conscious effort to never say, what are we going to do now? Man, that to me is just, that is a killer. That is a killer. But did you notice, this is the first time I noticed it, did you notice how effortlessly and how smoothly TL just spit that out? Like he was animated, he was perfect. One take, people. One freaking take on that. No, let me try that again. Clearly, you could tell that he was at one time an actor because it just rolled out of him. I just noticed how polished he was. And I've seen that clip 10 times, maybe more. Well done, TL. Well done. I wonder if, can't you still do some kind of local, they must have some kind of local barnstormers or something up there where you live, man. I would go up. I would take the old lady up for a weekend to go see you in a play somewhere, TL. Have you ever thought about it? I mean, you and the missus could easily join a little company up there, I'm sure. Is there anything up that way? He goes, fuck that, L. Been there, done that, baby, dude. I do hear you, brother. I do hear you. That's like asking me to go back to Hollywood, man. That ain't happening. It just is not happening. Oh, Syllabore. How you doing, my man? Good to see you. Okay, folks, I need to send this to myself because this is really important. Let's go back to gallery and see if the thing downloaded. Where is it? Where is it? Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? That's screenshots. I want downloads. No. No. That's fucked. That's fucked up. Okay, that means I'm going to have to do this a different way. Look, I'm really excited. I'm really excited about this weekend. I cannot tell you how freaking excited I am. I've tried to send this to myself twice, and unfortunately, I don't have Telegram on my computer. I actually tried to get it on my computer. I couldn't get Telegram on my computer. Therefore, the only way I can play this video for you is to play it on my phone and like hold it up here so you can see it. So I'm going to try it. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely terrible. I'm going to try turning down the light. Let's turn that way down. Let's turn that way down. And let's do this. I want you to hear this, and I want you to see this. This is important to me. This is really important to me. Where's the volume? Where's the volume?
Only in
CGC, starring Graham Belushi, your host, Zozo Dude.
I am so pissed that I can't play that from my computer. I should have asked Sandra to email it to me instead of send it to Telegram, because for whatever reason, I can't send it from Telegram to my email. I can't do it. I'm a technotard. I'm a technotard. I have wonderful news to report. Wonderful news to report. There's a great many of you, wonderful people, have been following the game show that I am the host of. It airs every Saturday night at 7 Pacific and 10 Eastern. And yes, this weekend, quite frankly, will be on the show. Brad CGZ, Joey Mormon, and Craig Mason, four of the finest guys I've ever had the pleasure of hanging out with, and I've hung out with every one of those guys. It's going to be stellar. To make it even more delicious, over on Frank's channel on the YouTube, he has this rock star of a mod by the name of Nikki M. Solis. Actually, now she's going by Nikki Carlin, but Nikki is going to be our female contestant live on camera, and the male contestant is none other than freaking King 40. This ought to really be interesting. I'm really freaking excited about it, man. This is going to be a great show. Now, as I alluded to last Sunday night, it's really strange. It's really strange. The first 3-4 shows went off absolutely without a hitch. I mean, you could tell that we were completely brand new. We were still working out the bugs, and sometimes we'd come back from camera and I would say the wrong thing. I would forget to play a video. Now that we're 9 weeks in, everybody knows their parts. Everybody knows their positions. But now, out of some miracle, for the last 3 weeks, we've been having these weird technical issues where the video plays fine, and then we come back from a commercial, and then it does this little Alvin and the Chipmunks thing, and then the audio and the video don't line up anymore, and it's been driving Sandra and I absolutely crazy. So we had to rule things out one by one by one. First, we thought it was Restream. Then we thought it was Zoom. We assured ourselves, we did testing, it's not either of those items, which means now it's only down to one thing. It's the power of Sandra's computer. And I want to give a huge shout out. And if you see this gentleman anywhere, please tell him that I could kiss his feet. One fine gentleman by the name of T.N. Homesteader sent Sandra new cards for her, new RAM cards for her computer. She went from 16 gigabyte to 64. 64. So that girl is like, you remember the 1940s poster of the girl with the muscles, with a wrench in her hand, the girls who used to build the airplanes? That's Sandra right now. She's like, we bad. So we also are doing one other thing differently. This show, this coming Saturday night, and that Saturday night's show, I'm telling you, it's going to go off without a hitch. It's going to be perfect. This will be the show by which all future shows are judged. So please, if you don't have any plans for this Saturday night, I want you to join us. The channel is called Coffee Talk with Sandra. Coffee Talk with Sandra. You can find her on the Foxhole. You can find her at pilled.net. You can find her on X. You can watch the show on X. You can watch it on D Live. You can watch it on Rumble. And you can watch it on something called Kick. Kick. Does anybody know Kick? I don't know Kick. But so you got options out there, okay? This Saturday night, 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. Quite frankly, Joey Mormon, Craig Mason, Brad CGZ. It's going to be a freaking spectacular show, and I invite you to come and join us, please. Please. Nikki is going to be the female contestant, and King 40. This ought to be a fucking kick in the pants, I'm telling you. It's going to be great. Going to be fucking great. All right. All right. So, tonight's show. You know, every now and then, I like to share with you guys, late at night, when I can't sleep, and that's fairly often, I went on Monday for an MRI for my shoulder because I had this shoulder done 4 years ago, and it's perfect. I mean, the shoulder was so bad I couldn't put my arm in a robe. Well, now this shoulder is done, and if I use it during the day to carry boxes and lift stuff up to people, I lay in bed that night and I don't sleep that night because there's like lightning bolts coming out of this shoulder. It's that bad. In fact, this shoulder's way worse than this shoulder ever was. They want to do the complete ball and socket, so I mean, it's a major restoration of my shoulder. And I went Monday for my MRI, and I'm going this Friday during the day for my consultation. They're going to tell me what my options are. There's different levels. You can choose A, B, or C. One of them gives you like 50% power, but I mean, there's like good and bad to each one. If I do the Rolls Royce rebuild of my shoulder, it takes the longest time to heal, and I will never be able to lift more than 25 pounds on this arm ever again. Now, how the hell am I going to pick up Mrs. O and throw her across the room? Yeah. I mean, what if I dumped my Harley? How am I going to pick that thing up? So I don't know about the Rolls Royce one, but I might go for the Monte Carlo, which is the middle one, or possibly the Mazda, which is the lowest one. I'll find out more on Friday. I really, I need to get this behind me. Because I need my arm. I need my freaking arm, man. I want to have this shoulder all healed up by the time my summer ride comes around. That is why I pushed my motorcycle ride this year back to September. I'm going to take off in September and go around the country. Normally I go between May and July. And I've learned a thing or two about where to go. You guys have followed my adventures. You know that I've gone through rain. I've gone through snow. I'd make any mailman proud. That's a fact. But you know from my previous shows, one of the things I like to do is share interesting videos when I can't sleep at night and I'm laying in bed and I've watched every news show twice. I've watched all my friends' shows twice, and I'm just bored. Then I just start skimming, right? I just start skimming, whether it's Rumble or Gab or X or YouTube. I just start skimming the videos. Occasionally TikTok, but I'm really not much of a TikToker. It's not my thing. Anyway, I came across a couple of videos that I want to share with you for good reason. I love it when there is a message. And whoops, that's not it. I mean, that's one of my favorite ones, but that's not the one I wanted to show you. Hang on. Bear with me. Let's go back here. Come on, hell. Where is it? Is that it? Is that it? Oh, this is it. Okay, this is it. This is it. Let me put this on the screen for you. I love a video with a message. I really do. And this one's cool. I hope you get as much out of this as I did, because it made me stop and just, you know how every now and then you just got to freaking stop and smell the roses instead of doing the same old, same old. You just got to take that extra step and say, damn it, this is one of those times. Let me play this for you. Are you ready? All right. I'm going to shrink this just a little bit. Hang on. Shrinking thusly. Damn it. All right, I got to come over here and shrink it. Come on. There we go. All right, that'll do it. That'll do. Let's take a listen to this young man getting schooled by a judge. Whoa, what happened? What just fucking happened? Okay, sorry. Let's try that again.
Important lesson, and I think we all need to hear that.
You have a red light violation. Do you remember this?
I don't recall. That was back in April, sir.
I know. Okay. I thought you were going to say that was 5 years ago. No, it was only a few months back. We'll take a look at it. We have a video of it.
Sure.
What do you think?
I thought it was orange at that moment, I guess.
What do you do for work?
I don't do it deliberately.
You didn't do
what
it
I do for work, I work for the Department of Labor and Training.
Mm-hmm. What do you do?
I'm an adjudicator for the unemployment office.
Mm-hmm. So how many cases do you hear a day?
It ranges 5 to 8.
Okay, so let's assume you hear 10 cases a day. These are for people who want unemployment, right?
Yes.
Out of the 10, what's the average? How many people do you deny and how many people do you approve?
I'm not that harsh. I say like 60% get approved.
You deny 40 people benefits?
Well, a lot of people quit. You know, there's different cases like that, quits, and people who violate violations. So we look into that also.
I'm going to be harsh on this guy.
That's pretty giving. I would never give 60%, Your Honor.
You think he's lenient?
Yes.
I think he's strict. I mean, you know, people there, they need money. People come in, they need money. They put food on the table. They have children. Do you take it into consideration?
If it was up to me, I'll do 99%, you know.
Oh, now you're talking. Okay. I mean, people, they have kids.
I agree.
They have to feed the kids. They have to pay the electric bill. They have to put food on the table, right?
I definitely agree with that.
Gas for the car to drive the kids to school.
Rules are rules, though, Judge. Don't quit.
You were 1/10 of a second. Right, we dismissed these at 2/10 of a second. You were 3/10 of a second. So I'm going to give you a break on that 1/10 of a second.
Appreciate it, Your Honor.
So remember, when you're talking to somebody, right, it's close.
Okay.
Give them the benefit of the doubt.
I'll be as lenient as you, sir.
Look at the world through the eyes of the poor. Remember that.
It's good advice.
It's very difficult when you're a judge of people. It really is. Some people get full of themselves. They think that they're, it's so important. They get mean and strict. Take a step back. Remember, you're dealing with another human being.
Yes. You're right.
If you can give him a break, give him a break. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
This judge.
You know why I like this video? This guy, he's a judge in Los Angeles. And I appeared before him long ago. He did not have gray hair, and neither did I, for that matter. I think I was... Well, I remember the circumstance. And it was ugly. Zoe's going to tell one of his little Zoe stories right now. And some of my Zoe stories, I don't know if I've shared them before or not, but I am going to share this one. So back in the 1970s, you all remember the movie American Graffiti, right? The guy with the hot rod car, John Milner, the yellow, bitchin', the cool dude, the greaser with the guy driving around with whatever the 15-year-old kid was, Mackenzie Phillips, that guy. And there was a scene in the movie. Where he asks her to get something out of his glove compartment, And when she opens up the door of the glove compartment, inside are like 3 tickets, and she goes, "These are all traffic tickets?" Like, she was impressed by 3 tickets. So your brother's, I can't be upstaged by anybody. So at 18 years old, 19, I was 19 years old, I got a shitload of fucking tickets. Speeding, running red lights, blowing right through a stop sign. I mean, you name it, I did it. And I put all the tickets in my glove compartment because that's also where I used to keep my bong. I had this really cool bong. It was called the Enterprise. It was shaped just like the USS Enterprise. And it was ceramic, yellow ceramic. And the average person couldn't put it in my glove compartment. You had to do it very carefully. You had to take the neck and put that in first, and then you had to twist it and turn it, and then it would go in my glove compartment. So the big joke was, "Hey, dude, get the bong out of let's do a snap. Get the bong out of and guys would grab it, and they would try to pull it out, and they couldn't figure out how to get the bong out of and I would just reach over and grab it, and I would give it that special twist, and I'd pull the bong out. And then once the bong was out, they would look inside, and they would see my 11 tickets, 11 moving violations. And they'd say, "Dude," they'd be like going, "Dude, speeding, running a red light, running a stop, dude." And so I got this cheap thrill out of my friends thinking that I was John Milner, the guy from American Graffiti. Now, down the road from me was a family of girls, the Yap family, Yap, Y-A-P-P. And one of their friends was this, just a babe of a chick, a couple years older than them, closer to my age. And has anyone ever heard of a singer named Jack Jones? Jack Jones. He was a famous singer in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Jack Jones. This girl, Crystal, was his daughter. And man, I asked this girl out, and I asked this girl out, and asked this girl out, and she never quite said no, but she always kind of had an excuse why she couldn't, and maybe some other time. And so finally, I painted my car, right? My Chevy that had been all primered and everything. I put 15 coats of lacquer on it. It is just this gorgeous fire engine red, and I got Krager's shiny chrome wheels on it, and I had literally just painted the car. And I put the back bumper on, but I didn't have time to put the front bumper on. I just ran out of time. I asked her to go out, and she was so wowed. She was so wowed by my car that she said yes, she would go out with me. I pick her up. I'm all excited. I've been working on this girl for 6 months. We're driving down Devonshire Road, heading to Chatsworth. We were going to go out to dinner, then we were going to go see a movie. And a cop is coming the other way. And he sees that I don't have a front bumper. So next thing I know, I get a quarter of a mile down the road, and he flips a U-ey and comes after me, and the lights come on. And back in those days, they didn't have the TV screens in the car. Everything was radio. Everything was on the radio. So I'm out showing my proof of insurance and showing him my license and all that. And all of a sudden, on the radio, I can hear, "There is a warrant for this man's arrest. There's a warrant for this man's arrest." And then the cop, he pulls out his handcuffs, and I'm like, "Well, hang on a second, man. Hang on a second. I'm in the middle of a date. Look, I will turn myself in this evening if you will just please allow me to finish this date, or at the very least, allow me to go drop her off, and I will come to the station and turn myself in. Son, I'm afraid I can't do that. By this time, I hear, the one Adam 12 girl on the radio. The subject has 4 outstanding warrants, 4 bench warrants for his arrest. And I'm like, oh, shit. By the time they got me cuffed and in the car, they had discovered 8. And by the time I got to the station, all 11 tickets, all 11 warrants were exposed. I told her how sorry I was. I gave her the keys to my car and said, can you forgive me? And would you park the car in front of the Yap's house and I'll come get it later? She never spoke to me again. Never. She never spoke to me again. So now I'm in jail. And you get that one phone call. Well, my dad is out of town on a business trip. And they wanted $700 to bail my ass out of jail. So I called my best friend's dad, and I said, Mr. Scott, I'm in a little bit of trouble here. Do you think that you could you could help me out? This is like 1978, okay? So I can tell you, $700 in 1978 is probably like $3,500 today. I mean, it's nothing to sneeze at. It's a good chunk of change. But good old Mr. Scott, he said, yeah, Al, I'll come down and get you. And he did. He liked me. He really liked me. It was one of my best friend's dads. And he came down and he bailed my ass out. And I sheepishly drove home, and I had to tell my mother, Mom, I've just been to jail for the first time, and Mr. Scott bailed me out. So my mom immediately wrote a check, and I drove over and gave him a check for the $700. And here's the amazing thing. Here is the amazing thing. 2 doors down from Mr. Scott was this really cool old guy. His name was Monty. Now, Monty had hot rods. He still had hot rods in spite of the fact that he was like 50, 55. But he had old hot rods, like those fat-fendered Fords and shit. And he had a Mercury, a 50 Merc. Beautiful car. Immaculate. So, he knew us kids in the neighborhood with our hot rods and stuff, and he was always coming over every time we had a hood open and Bolton headers on or something. He'd come over and see what was new and exciting in the neighborhood. He was a really nice guy. He also happened to be a traffic lawyer. And he went to law school with that judge right there. He went to law school. Old Monty went to law school with Frank Caprio. So I go over and I see Monty. I knock on his door and I said, Monty, I really need some help here. And so he goes, so what's the problem? So I hand him a copy of my rap sheet, and he's like, it was pages. It wasn't a single sheet. It was pages. And he's flipping them over and he's going, failure to appear, failure to appear, failure to appear. He goes, Al, you're a smart kid. What were you thinking? And I said, I don't know, Monty. I kind of thought that American Graffiti thing was cool. He goes, Al, that's the movies. He goes, you're going to jail. He goes, there's nothing I can do to help you, man. You are going to jail. And I'm like, he goes, you could get 1 year for every one of these offenses. You're looking at 11 years. And now all of a sudden, my bunghole is puckering, okay? My bunghole is puckering. I'll never forget this as long as I live. So the day comes for my trial, and man, I took my long hair and I tied it into the tiniest little bun on the back of my head, and I had a suit and the whole 9 yards, and Monty told me, he told me on the way to court, he goes, bring your toothbrush. There's nothing I can do for you. Bring your toothbrush. So we get to court, and we're waiting. It's like, you know, the court opens at 8 a.m., and he looks up, and he pulls open the door, and he sees the judge. And he looks at me, and he goes, I can't believe this. So I had to wait for 3 or 4 cases ahead of me, and finally my turn comes. Albertsello, will the defendant please rise? So I stand up, and I walk up there, and good old Monty says, can I speak with the judge for a second? So he goes over in the back, and these 2 guys there, I mean, they're mumbling just out of range of the desk microphone. And I hear, and I'm shitting bricks. I'm shitting bricks. This guy, this judge right here, this wonderful, wonderful man. There he is. One more time, Frank Caprio. He gave me 3 days in jail. That's it. 3 days in jail. Monty said, look, this kid comes from a good family, a good Christian family. He didn't understand the severity of it. You know, he's never been in trouble in his life. He didn't know anything about, you know. He goes, I explained to him just how much trouble he was in. And the judge was as lenient to me as he was in that video right there. First of all, I had already spent 3 hours in jail when I waited for my friend Mr. Scott to come and bail me out. So he counted that. He counted that as one of the days. That means I had to spend 2 more days in jail. So they let me out, and they told me I needed to report to, I think it was San Fernando Police Station Friday night at 6 p.m. So this is like on a Monday. So now my dad comes home. My dad, who whips out the belt first and asks questions later, that's the dad. And let's just say Dad wasn't very happy. Dad was not very happy. Damn it, Albert. This'll do you good. It'll be good for you to see what it's like to be a felon. I mean, my dad made the most of it. He milked that fucking thing for all it was worth. And I'll tell you what, it taught me a lesson, okay? I was taken in. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened to me. I don't think I've ever shared this. I was put on a bus. I was put on a bus and taken into downtown L.A. from San Fernando. When I arrived at L.A. County Jail in the middle of downtown L.A., the first thing they do is they take all your clothes from you. They take all of your clothes from you, and you and 60 other guys are standing there buck naked. And one by one, this cop comes along. He's got a billy club, and they make you stand prone with your legs far apart and your arms up against this block wall. And if you haven't spread your legs wide enough, the cop will kick your legs wider. So I'll never forget this as long as I lived. What a lesson. What a lesson for a 19-year-old kid. There was a guy covered in tattoos, you know. And the cop said, wider. And so this guy moved his foot about an inch wider than it was. He was the cop was asking him to spread his legs wider than they were, because they checked your buttocks to see if you had maybe stuffed something up there of value to be of use later in the jail. This is how rude it is, okay? Anyway, the cop says to this tattooed looking scumbag, I said wider, and he kicks the guy's leg wider. So instead of just standing there, this guy turns around and stares at the cop. Man, that cop and two more cops grabbed this guy. They drug him into this little room, and the door shuts behind him, and all you could hear is boom, 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 boom. They beat the living snot out of this man. And when they came out, the three cops came out. He didn't come out. He was probably unconscious, but I'll never forget it. There was a towel hanging on a hook on the outside of the door, and they wiped the blood off of their hands onto the towel. And I'm like 2 guys away. So when he came to me, he goes, spread your legs. I almost did the splits, okay? I'm doing the splits. There you go, baby. There you go. You get through with your cavity search, and then they take you into a small room where there is a spray compressor, just a gun, a spray gun, just like I used for painting signs at my job. And they spray you with this milky white delouser, okay? In case somebody had lice or something like that, they spray you with this slime, and they do your hair and everything. It was the most disgusting treatment. I felt like a filthy animal. And they gave me a pair of pants that would have fit Oliver Hardy and a shirt that would have fit Stan Laurel. So I got a shirt that's too small that I can't button, and I got a pair of pants that I have to hold up with one hand the entire time that I'm in jail. They take me and they put me in a cell called Charlie 5. That's all I remember. It was the 3rd floor, A, B, C, so I was in Charlie 5. And I'm the only white guy. I am the only white guy in my cell, and there's 6 bunks. And there was a stainless toilet right there and a stainless sink. And, I mean, if you got to do your business, everybody can see what the fuck you're doing. Well, I can promise you, I might have taken a few leaks, but I didn't have to go number 2 the entire time I was there. I'll deal with this later. And I'll never forget the following morning. The following morning, they wake us all up and they take us down for breakfast. This is day 2 for me. And we're sitting there, and you get a metal tray with plastic forks and plastic spoons, and there is a vase with a handle on it, a pitcher of ice water. So I'm eating these reconstituted eggs, and they were just disgusting, absolutely disgusting. There's a guy. Sorry, kid, I'm on the air. There's a guy across from me, 1 seat over, 1 seat that way. And it's this guy was clearly a bodybuilder. He had arms bigger than my legs, okay? This black guy, and he was nasty looking, okay? And here I am with my long hair and shit, and he looks at me and he says, "Water down." So I look at my eggs and I'm like, I said, yeah, these things sure are watered down, aren't they? You know, I mean, I'm scared fucking shitless. So I'm eating a little bit more. And he says it again. He looks at me and he goes, "Hey, And I look up, and he's staring right at me. Water down. Fuck. Finally, a third time, he says to me, I said water down. And finally, the guy next to me grabs the pitcher of water and hands it to him. I had no idea what he... If he had said, hey, please pass the water, I would have gladly given it to him. But instead, I don't know what water down means. I'm a fish. Man, I'm telling you, when they let me out of the place, I only had to spend that one night. When they let me out of the next day, my dad said, just call a taxi and have them give you a ride to the house, and I'll pay the taxi driver when he gets here. So finally, it seemed like forever, but at 9 o'clock in the morning is when they discharge you. And they called me up and they said, the fish. So obviously that was me, the fish. And they open up the door and everybody's like, why does he get to go? So they took me out and they walked me down and they gave me my clothes back, my nice suit. It had been steam cleaned in a I don't know if they just put it in a press and just and hit it with starch, but it was like cardboard. I had to like crunch the legs of the pants and the arms so I could just put the clothes back on. And then they led me through a hallway that had a series of doors exactly like the beginning of Get Smart. You know, when Maxwell Smart is leaving control and there's the first set of doors goes this way and then the next set of doors goes that way and then the third set of doors swings closed and Max gets his nose pinched in the door. It was just like that. I went through like 7 doors and you have to wait for that door to close before this next door will open. Finally, I get out and I'm in an alleyway and I look and on 3 sides it's all brick. And I can see a road ahead of me, and I don't know where the hell I was. 3rd Street, somewhere in downtown LA. And all I can tell you is I found a payphone, and I called a taxi, and I got home. I was never so glad to be home in all of my life. What a freaking lesson. What a freaking lesson. But I thank that man right there. This man is a hero to me. He is a hero. So when I came across his YouTube video, I was like, oh my God, I don't believe this. Crazy. So that's the first video I want to share with you. I hope you learned something. I hope you learned to always go to court the minute you get a traffic ticket. Make sure you go to court. I want to look around. And see what people are saying. Oh my gosh, poor Zoso dude. I want that booking picture. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Oh, what are they saying over here? Never been arrested, you lucky devil. I beat many felony charges. Wow. Well, yeah. Dang, Zo. Funny, not funny. I agree wholeheartedly. Funny, not funny. What are they saying over at YouTube? I should be around to see the show. Okay. Mazda is a final. That judge is a saint. Yes, he is. Present your papers, sir. You know it. You know it. Holy smokes, you know it. Dang. So I came across one other video I want to share with you, and this is a recent find. I think I've shared him on this show before, but I've only shared like a small piece. a small piece of his video because he had something rather poignant or something really bizarre. You guys will probably remember this guy, but I want to introduce him to you because, seriously, if you're ever bored one night and there's nothing on the tube, you've seen everything, you're tired of watching this, you're tired of watching that, you're just looking for something a little different, I'm telling you, scroll through this guy's videos because he'll play a little short. He combs the globe for YouTube shorts and TikTok shorts, and then he picks out the best ones. He picks out the very best ones, and then he comments on each and every one. And I just find this guy to be, I don't know, funny, honest. I think this guy and I would be buddies in real life. I think we would understand each other. He goes by the name of, let me see if I can find him. Damn it, I should have had him first. I should have had that called up first. What are you doing, Zoe? What are you doing? Where's my... Okay, hang on. Bear with me. He's coming. He's coming. So's Christmas, but I promise you. Okay, this is it. This is it.
Did you know that Amazon has...
Oh, for God's sakes. Bear with me for just a second. Wait a minute. I might have some good news. No. Okay, I got one more chance. One more chance. Okay. All right. I think we got it. Let me look one more time, people. Looking for something important here. Gallery. Gallery. Damn it. Why did that not download? Why did that not fucking down? Oh, I know why. I'm looking in the wrong freaking album. There it is. Oh, you dummy. You freaking dummy. That is my problem. That is my problem. I'm not as dumb as I look. I mean, I am as dumb as I look. There we go. There we go. Okay. Hey, this is cool. I might actually be able to play what I wanted to play for you. This is freaking extraordinary. Extraordinary. Let me give that thing a second. Okay, I'm going to play this guy's video. I'm going to play this guy's video because he's an interesting cat. He's an interesting cat, and all I can say is when I can't sleep at night, thank God for Mod Tricka, okay? Mod Tricka, that's the name, that's this guy's name. M-O-D, M-O-D-T-R-I-C-C-A, Mod Tricka. Mod Tricka. He's funny. He's straight up. He gives you his thoughts. And he always digs up this... he always digs up this weird shit. Let's watch a couple of minutes of Mod Tricka together. And you'll thank me later. All right, here we go. Ready? Here we go. Little Mod Tricka for you. And away we go. Here we go. Here he is.
The most eye-opening TikToks we've seen yet. But before we hop into that, go ahead and spam that like button right now so we can run the numbers up on the algorithm. And you ain't got to think about it later. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that sub button too. Sub up, join the family. This is the most lit and active community on YouTube, period. With that being said, guys, let's hop straight into the video.
Y'all, it's happening again. So if you don't know, I've been studying this phenomenon that we've been seeing, by the way, only in the United States, accompanied by really bad storms. It's about to get a lot weirder in 1 second. Like I've showed you in other videos, the same exact thing has popped up in multiple different states, always with a bad storm. Always the same exact colors, and no, it's not a transformer. Most of the time, these things are recorded in open fields when nothing else is around. Alright, remember how I said it's about to get weirder in 1 second? Check this out. Meanwhile, all this stuff is going on, the electronics in multiple cities have been going crazy and glitching. This is one video of so many, again, only in the United States. So what exactly is happening in the United States that brings a whole bunch of glitching in the sky, colors, and glitching with electronics? And not only is it electronics glitching and the sky glitching, some of the biggest and some of the heaviest hail we have ever seen in the United States have been falling every single day, just piling up so deep. This isn't even the same video I showed you yesterday. So I guess my question is, what's happening in only America where only this stuff is happening?
Normally I wouldn't be too worried about this stuff, but it's been happening so much that I'm afraid this is our new normal. HAARP has been doing so much weather modification. Now we got Minecraft clouds in the sky.
Alright, so I was out tonight, off the Gulf of America. Just want to show y'all a little bit of what I saw. It's pretty interesting stuff. Here you go.
I don't know if you can read the captions, but she's saying, thinking I might have gotten out of focus. The thing splits into 2 stars.
I just witnessed.
It looks like the orb knew it was being filmed and then it morphed into a drone. There's definitely something we're not being told about these.
The Freemasons were never just builders, they were gatekeepers, archivists, hoarders of ancient truth. Inside the archives you will not find speculations, you will find proof. History is a fabrication. Proof that civilizations more advanced than ours have risen and fallen, buried beneath layers of deception. And to ensure the truth never reaches those who are meant to forget, secrets of architecture, sacred geometry and energy manipulation were not just used to build temples. They were used to alter the fabric of reality itself. Buried in the archives are the real timelines, the history that has been erased. The ancient civilizations that surpassed modern technology, destroyed, covered up, and rewritten as myth. The true origin of mankind, not a random evolution, but a designed creation for a purpose we were never told.
This is why we need to start asking ourselves why places like the Vatican or the Smithsonian even have archives in the first place with so many artifacts and books locked away that we're unable to access. It's probably because that's where the real history is, and they just give us enough to live in fantasy land.
But this is the wrapper of the original melatonin bottles when they first put them out. They took this off of the label. And I'll read it. Melatonin is a protein constitution, I think that's the word, constitution of pineal tissue. So that means they had to crush the pineal gland to get this thing. All right. So we have the actual document here on the original ones. It's the Constitution, it's real blurred, I can't really see it. Concentration, whatever it is, I don't know, but it's pineal tissue. I got another clearer one that the brother sent me. And the reason I got this when I was in Indianapolis, the brother Lilly Pharmaceutical, which is one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the world, is in Indianapolis, Indiana. So the brother was able to get a couple of these things. You see what I'm saying?
If this is true, then whoever was the first person to munch on the pineal gland and figure out that it makes you sleepy was a sick individual.
Did you know that it is possible that we are living in the year 1728 instead of 2025? Now, this is a very interesting theory called the phantom time hypothesis, where it suggests that 300 years of history never actually took place. In the 1990s, a German historian named Herbert Illig came up with this theory, suggesting that the Roman Emperor Otto III and Pope Sylvester II altered the calendar to be the year 1000, purely because it sounded more significant. This would be like a coffee shop opening up last year and changing its sign to say, serving coffee since 1967 versus serving coffee since yesterday. It just sounds better. Anyways, let's look at the evidence. Up until the year 614, the Roman Empire was still around, and we have tons of records of war, leaders, daily life. They built major cities, aqueducts, and advanced technology, like inventing concrete, road networks, even paper. And then, after the year 911, we have lots of books and documents around medieval Europe. People were inventing mechanical clocks, windmills, better farming tools. But between those years, there's almost nothing. No big advancements, no major discoveries, virtually no change in population, very few written records. This is why this time is often referred to as the Dark Ages, because we literally don't know too much of what actually took place. So did just nothing happen for 300 years? Well, let's look at architecture. In the 600s, the Byzantine architecture was very popular. It had these big domed roofs, golden mosaics, and highly decorated interiors. Now, if you look at the Roman-esque architecture, which was popular in the 900s, they have a relatively similar build. Large fortress-like buildings with thick walls and stone carvings. If 300 years did pass by, wouldn't we see a bigger difference in architecture, suggesting that buildings like these were actually built closer together and not 300 years apart? Back in those years, the calendar wasn't as solidified as it is today. In fact, they had 7 major calendars being used at the time, all of which would track time differently. So it is very possible that time was added or removed in this time frame. It happened, and more than once. So that is the bulk of the theory as to why we could actually be in 1728 and not 2025.
Before the Gregorian calendar, a year used to be 13 months, so they probably changed the date several times throughout history. For all we know, it could be the year 1966 pick up sticks.
The real reason you're stiff after sitting.
If you're over 50, I bet you know what old school toughness is. Growing up, you probably fell out of trees, crashed your bike countless times, got bloody noses and black eyes, and still have scars on your knees. You could take a nasty spill, get right back up, and walk it off. And I know, even though you're older now, you're not...
Sorry, that was a stupid commercial.
I would feel like it's a bad omen if I leave my house and it's raining with no clouds in the sky. I'm going right back inside.
Now notice also, this is the body of an alien, and where we have 6 ribs that are connected together, they have 3, and the total height is less than 5 feet. And they still look like this. Not like you and I.
If this is real, then Dr. Stephen Greer has some competition with the alien photos. It kind of looks like a baby Voldemort. If you get struck by this lightning bolt, you're going to be speaking pig Latin for the rest of your life.
If you live in one of these circles, then say goodbye to your privacy. Thousands of automatic license plate detection cameras are stationed across the US, and the rest of the world for that matter. And loads of those things are hackable and ready to immediately let ne'er-do-wells track your every movement around town. They're supposed to stream to private networks, but Matt Brown on YouTube found that a good chunk are just streaming to the open internet, and even the ones that aren't doing that are still accessible without authentication if you can manage to just access their networks. And what's worse is they're also streaming not just video, but the data collected too. The creator of DFlock, a website that documents the locations of license plate cameras, found that gathering the data from a handful of strategically placed ones around a city would let you track regular movements of people and even break them down into organized spreadsheets.
When they say Big Brother is always watching, this is exactly what they mean.
In the following video, a group of friends are having a small gathering as they all collectively sing to a song of worship. the person recording pans around the room to capture this harmonious ceremony, thinking that this evening will end well. But little did they know that something would happen during this gathering that would haunt them forever. Be sure to pay close attention, as no one had noticed it until looking closely. Take a look. As the camera pans over to the hallway, a shadow-like figure can be seen bolting down the hall at a speed beyond human capacity. Its rapid movement and dark appearance were enough to leave the family extremely unsettled. Viewers believe that this ceremony might have had something to do with the sudden appearance of this figure. They can't help but think that this may have been some sort of dark entity that was provoked by the ceremony. Not much info is given on this video, so it's hard to be sure if that's so. But whether paranormal or not, the sudden appearance of this dark figure is creepy alone. Just what exactly was caught on camera?
If you ever need an exorcism, then call this prayer group. They done fleshed out a demon with the church hymns. Maybe this is a pack of birds and the frame rate of the camera makes it look like there are streaks behind it, or it's a full-on invasion.
How do you tell people that this species, this race that we are all a part of, is a hybrid race? That we were genetically created by an extraterrestrial intelligence? How do you tell them that? Carefully. You look around and you tell them carefully, depending on where you are. Now, if you're in Baghdad talking to some Sunnis or Shia, you don't even bring the subject up. How do you tell them that every major religion on the planet has been initiated and orchestrated by extraterrestrial intelligence? How do you tell Christian fundamentalists that that lovely man from Galilee 2,000 years ago was a part of that program? You don't tell them that unless you've checked the exits and know how they can run and get out of the house.
We all have that one friend like this where every time you have a conversation with them, you end up having an existential crisis.
BlackRock, right, have just bought £1.4 billion worth of UK homes. Lloyds Bank want to build a portfolio of 50,000 homes by 2030. That's public information. What we're seeing right now is massive institutions buying up all of our homes across the UK, right? We're not going to live in a society where you can own your own home. You will just rent. We'll become a society of renters. And that will probably happen over the next 15, 20 years. This is probably one of the last buying cycles you can have. And what's sad about that is that if you are, 85-year-old Paul, right, and you can't afford your rent this month, normally you call up your landlord, and despite what people say and media says, like most landlords are good, humane people, you come to some sort of agreement, right? But you can't call up a massive US private equity firm based in New York, right? And to them, you're just a line item, right? It's going to be really, really bad. And it's going to be much harder for us and much harder for society as a whole. But what's happening right now is that all of our homes in the UK are being bought up by multinationals.
This has been happening in America for a while now. Unless you make $6 million a year, you're going to be living in your mom's basement for the rest of your life.
Heidi Yellen conducted a study on the frequency of fabrics. She found that the human body has a signature frequency of 100, and a dying human has a frequency around 15. Polyester fabrics rate 15 as well, whereas cotton is 100 and linen is 5,000. Anything below 100 saps your energy. If you're wearing polyester, you're wearing recycled garbage.
It seems like they're doing everything in their power to keep us vibrating at a lower frequency. If you wear anything polyester, you might as well be wearing a hefty bag.
Take a look at this. Thousands of people in Serbia completely disbanded from this sonic boom or sound technology. I don't even know what this is, but I'm going to show you the raw footage in a second where you can hear how quiet the people were. And then you can hear this sound coming in and completely separating everyone. But you're looking at one of the biggest protests in the history of Serbia, where hundreds and thousands of people are coming together against the government, against corruption, remembering what happened when 15 people died when the canopy of the train station collapsed. They come together almost daily for 15 minutes in complete silence in remembrance of this. Officials of Serbia completely denied using a military-grade sonic weapon, but watch these clips very closely.
The truth is, behind closed doors, the P word became my secret sin at age 10.
I don't know what else would clear an entire crowd out like that besides some sort of frequency device, but using that during a moment of silence is diabolical work.
Okay, so do y'all remember drawing these as a kid? But I don't mean just like here and there. Were you one of those types of kids that drew these everywhere? Every notebook, on your sneakers, on your jeans, all over the place? Okay. Are you now witchy, mystical, spiritual, the weird one in your friend group that always wants to talk about astrology? Yep. A lot of stuff is starting to make sense.
I used to fill entire notebook pages with these. I had no idea it was connected to the Tree of Life. Next we gonna find out that when we made those fortune tellers, we were actually channeling Nostradamus.
But these families show up at the Bilderberg group and Council on Foreign Relations. They show up there, and but a lot of the descendants of these families, the 300 families, are also hidden in under, say, John Smith or Jim Jones or whatever, hidden between in regular families, but extremely significant. Not inner circle members, but second or third tier outside of that, and they're generally the scene. Okay, so you have the outer rulers and the inner rulers. The inner rulers are never. They don't need to put themselves in positions where they're seen, or they don't need to be in movies or entertainment or sports figures or presidents, because they rule with an absolute rule behind the scenes. So the Committee of 300, generally the outer heads, so they're the ones we do see on TV.
I feel like these families do everything they can to keep us divided and fighting amongst each other, so we never figure out that they're our real enemy.
I was listening to Blurry Creatures the other week, and they had these two ladies on that work in this ministry called Satanic Ritual Abuse, and it's terrifying. They talk about like people that come out of like government programs. They usually start these people off as kids of like brainwashing them, and they use like the fear tactic, and it's really creepy. It's really amazing the ministry of what they do. Like these people are coming out of it and they help them adapt back to normal society and stuff like that. But Luke asked like, was there an example of like this indoctrination of fear and stuff? And she said, COVID. What they did with COVID. She said, no, what's crazy is what were like the two main things with COVID that people had to do: wear masks and stand 6 feet apart. She said, do you know where they practice that? At the Bohemian Grove. That's one of their rituals. And I'm just like, this is insane.
Hold on, like that's kind of a stretch though, because it is also a germ thing. Like, of course you need to wear a mask.
No, that proves nothing though. Like it was 6 feet apart, like a very specific number. And this Bohemian Grove ritual is that they have to stand 6 feet apart while being masked.
That is so weird.
Really creepy stuff.
I can't say if this is true or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
On social networks, this creepy video filmed directly from the White House has exploded the internet. You can see a boog whistling the American anthem and walking around the presidential office as if he were at home. Then he sits quietly on the president's chair and starts making phone calls. But how did he get into one of the safest places in the world? This mysterious man is nicknamed the Only Survivor, and he became the main internet celebrity in 2024. On his social networks, he has nearly 20 million subscribers. He claims to be a time traveler and claims that he films all his videos in 2030, where he would be the last man on Earth. As you can see, the boog is moving in totally deserted streets of gigantic megacities. Following several requests from his subscribers, he visits the most interesting places in the world. For example, in this video, he walks quietly next to the Tower of Pisa, completely empty. Or in this video, where he is in the Vatican and walks around as if he were at home without any soul present. But what is most impressive is that he visited the legendary Vatican Library, where the most secret manuscripts in the world are kept. Recently, he began to publish videos of Moscow completely empty, and then videos of a completely deserted Red Square, claiming that soon he will publish images of him walking in the secret corridors of the Kremlin.
As far as him being in the Oval Office, the fact that that phone had no numbers on it, I would say he was at the Tyler Perry Studios White House in Atlanta. He better not try that at the Kremlin or Putin is going to hang him by his pinky toe.
Not even NASA can rightfully explain what people just found in this photo taken by the Curiosity rover on the surface of Mars. At first glance, you'd probably miss it, but zoom into just the right spot, and it's there. Standing out from its surroundings, we see a distinct, smooth, round, shiny metallic object that appears to be floating through the air, and we can even see its shadow beneath it. People are calling it the Tic Tac UAP on Mars, which does look exactly like a lot of the UFOs we've been hearing about and the military's been reporting on here on Earth. Navy pilots have literally used the exact words Tic Tac UAP to describe them, and well, if that ain't a Tic Tac, I don't know what is. This photo is from the Mars Curiosity rover taken on March 3rd, 2020, so we were probably a little preoccupied with something else when this first came out. And as always, yes, it's on NASA's official website. Here we even have an AI checker that tells us it's definitely not altered or AI generated. Strangely too, NASA allegedly removed the original color image from their website and now only have this black and white one up. But if you know where to zoom in, you'll find that Tic Tac exactly where it's supposed to be. Skeptics argue that it's a rock formation or some photography error, but man, it looks exactly like the UAPs that have been reported here on Earth. And if these spacecraft really are as advanced as we claim they are, then there really is nothing stopping them from visiting other planets too.
NASA is the king of Photoshop, so they had to leave this one in on purpose.
Darren Jeff Merkley here, and I'm here at Reagan National Airport, and I just went through the security checkpoint, and they have a new system to try to make sure that you do not use your driver's license or document instead of using facial recognition. They tell you to put your driver's license into the scanning machine, and then after you put it in and they tell you to step in front of it to get a photo, they proceed to say, well, you can't do that. You have to have your photo taken. And when you say, well, I'm just using my driver's license, and they say, no, you start the process by putting your driver's license in the machine, and at that point, you have to use facial recognition. And I said, well, I'm opting out of that. And they said, well, too bad. You have no choice. Well, this no-choice strategy is exactly what we've been saying that TSA is after, trying to eliminate the ability to use just a driver's license. The manager called over the manager. The manager proceeded to say, well, I know this doesn't make sense, but we have a new policy here, and once you put your driver's license in the scanning machine, you have to go through facial recognition. Even if you step out and step back, sorry, you have to use facial recognition. And so I said, no, that's not the law. You don't have to use facial recognition, and you're misleading people if you tell them to put your driver's license in the machine, and then you tell them because you've done that, you can no longer use your driver's license instead of facial recognition. It's insane. This is big government coming to take away your privacy, trying to set up a national surveillance system using your faces, using the airports as the key mechanism. I will continue to fight this every step of the way.
I remember arriving at the Detroit airport coming home from a trip to Jamaica back in 2021, and as I was approaching the customs agent without showing any ID, he called me by my first name and said, "Have a nice day," as if he was using facial recognition. So this has been around for a while now.
All right, I just got to say that I have never been, what was it, 10 years ago, 12 years, 13, 15 years ago, when I read and saw the stories. Yeah, I'm talking prior to 2010. I read about what China had been doing, installing cameras everywhere, and that they publicly shame people by putting their faces up on billboards saying this person is delinquent in this and that person didn't do this. Or if you litter over there, right? Let's say you litter on the ground in China, because of all their cameras and because of their facial recognition capabilities, they make you out to be a criminal. And they will do things like lower your credit score, your what do they call it? Some kind of societal purpose credit score or whatever. And if you go to get on a bus, they won't let you get on a bus. Or you go to use some kind of public service, you're denied access. It's crazy. And because of that when I first heard about that, That's when I started putting tape. I've got tape over the cameras of both of my phones on the screen side that I'm constantly looking at and scrolling, because I don't want them studying my facial features. I don't trust this thing. I don't trust this thing worth a damn. But you really can't live without them anymore. I mean, can you? It would be so difficult to live without a smartphone these days. I don't know. I just don't know what to. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to think. It freaks me out. It really does it freaks me out. I don't want any part of that facial recognition system. It's done. Anyway, if you're ever bored, seriously, Mod Tricka. This guy, I don't know where he gets the time to scroll the internet and then, capture all these little mini videos and then thread them all together. But he comes up with just some of the wildest stuff, I mean, yeah, there's some garbage in there, but there was some pretty interesting little clips in that. I barely scratched the surface. That video we're not even halfway through it. There's tons and tons more to look at. But I have something more important for you to look at, something extraordinarily important for you to look at, and that's this right here. Come on now. Load. There it is. There it is. Okay. Boom. And open with, there it is.
Coffee Talk with Sandra presents Voxel sponsored by Pill.net.
There it is, baby. I got what I wanted. I finally got what I wanted. I forgot that on my phone, when I download something, I have a file already made. A file already made for this. For this.
Coffee Talk with Sandra presents Voxel sponsored by Pill.net. This week, the one and only Enoch. Quite frankly, Neo. Joey Mormon. Burt Cocaine. Craig Mason. 451 Actual. Brad CGZ. Starring Graham Belushi. Your host, So Dude.
Yes. 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 That's this Saturday night, people. This Saturday night on the Foxhole, on Pill.net, on X, on what else? Kick, whatever Kick is. It's on Rumble. You have places to... Oh, and it's on D-Live. And it's on D-Live, but you have to go to the channel called Coffee Talk with Sandra. Coffee Talk with Sandra. I'm telling you, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, the Foxhole Squares this weekend is going to absolutely freaking rock. It's going to rock, and I invite you to join me. I hope that you will be there. I'm going to slip on out of here, people, but not before I thank the wonderful people who donated to the show tonight. Let me call out some names of people who just really, really tickled my fancy. Girl Patriot with first the can and then the cookie. Safety Net. She says, wonderful Wednesday. Well wishes, warriors and sailors. One love, Lynn. Thank you, Lynn. Sean Joe. Thank you so much, my brother. Girl Patriot back with yet another can. Safety Net back with yet another cookie. And Due Diligence wishing me a happy grog. And it is a happy grog. I'm enjoying every second of it. All right. I am hereby releasing. Oh, Salty Nuts dropped a cookie just because he can. He's that kind of guy. Here is the scratching coming your way. So I want you to scratch that itch and get yourself some gold pills. Go and get yourself some gold pills. Meanwhile, over here in Lemon Land, let's see what's happening over here. Okay, let me do a quick refresh to see where we're sitting. All right, we can afford to give something away. We can afford to give something away today. Let me load up this treasure chest. And there she goes. I have officially stuffed something into the treasure chest, and I'm hereby releasing it right now. I'm releasing it this very second. Let me think about that prairie fire. I will go and do some digging and see what's happening. See just what is going on. In the meantime, in 7 seconds, we will be distributing the rewards over there in Lemon Land. Yes, D Live. D Live. You know what? Let's. I like to spread it. I like to spread it around. Let's go. Wow, there's so many. There's so many cool ones out there. I think I'm going to send you here. Just because I love that brother. He's a good friend of mine. All right. In Lemonland, TL Spud hauling it in, baby. Hauling in 215 lemons. Bad Zoot on his heels. Willie Fix It in there with 90. Well done, Willie. Lynn Winters and Elfita, the elf on the shelf. Good to see you. Glad you guys hung out with me. Thanks, everyone, for coming and hanging out with me tonight. Thanks for listening to my crazy stories of days gone by. I always like to share those silly things. Don't do as your brother Zoe does. Don't put your tickets in your glove compartment thinking you're going to impress some girl because she'll never speak to you again. That's what happens. That was a lesson learned, and thank God for that judge. That's all I can say. Thank God for that wonderful judge. Wow. Yes. Okay. All right, Brother Zoe, checking on out of here. Do me a favor. When you're throwing out some prayers, say some prayers for our buddy Matty F&B, would you? Keep the man in your prayers. He's down and out in Philadelphia. Wow, fell to 72. It has been a minute, buddy. How are you doing over there? Hey, I hope you're doing all right, man. Anyway, our dear brother Matty F&B is laid up with bronchitis, and that's nasty. It is really, really nasty. Keep Matty F&B in your prayers if you would. He just got like this major promotion at work. He's now a finger pointer. He's now using his brain instead of his brawn, and he's flat on his back in bed. So lift the man up. Lift the man up, would you? Send him some prayers. Matty F&B. I also would like to ask you to please keep our friend Laura Dora, who has a broken leg, and Laura Dora's mother, who fell at 95 and has a broken hip. Please pray for Laura Dora and her mother that they both heal up, would you? All right. I love you guys. I'm going to boogie it on out of here. I'm going to shuffle off to Buffalo because that's what time of day it is. I got to go in. I got to go check my breaker and make sure that the hot water is still flowing before I go to bed, because Lord knows if Mrs. Zoe doesn't get a warm shower in the morning, your brother Zoe is going to be in the doghouse. I mean, under the doghouse. Under the doghouse. All right, peeps. Have a wonderful night. We will see you around the bend. Be good. Be good to your neighbors. Be good to your friends. Be good to your neighbors. And remember, share those prayers, would you? Share those prayers. I will see you Friday night. Friday night, right back here on The Mystery Show. Have a great rest of your week. Next time I see you, the week will be over. The week will be over. All right. Be good, my friends. Getcha. There it is. That's what I'm looking for.